Survivor's 49th season came to a close on Wednesday night with Oklahoma City's own Kristina Mills placing fifth. Competing on Survivor was one of Mills's biggest dreams before she turned 40, and we were able to talk to her about her strong run on the season after it came to an end. I see you're also sporting the OKC, so we got to have OKC today.
I got to do a little plug for my city.
Of course, of course. Well, first off, congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations on fifth
you.
place. You did amazing this season. It was so much fun
Thank
watching and seeing
you.
everything happen. Um, but I have to start with
Okay.
the moment that we're talking about right now. Final tribal council,
Yes.
Savannah. Can you please name a spouse or family member? Walk me through that. How did we find this question?
So if you go back and watch the challenges from our season, you will hear so many people say, do it for this person, do it for Jessica, do it for Gabriel. And so it was kind of like our thing out there was like knowing each other's family members' names and like using that to motivate people. And so, also, one of my favorite moments in Survivor history is when Kelly in season one was going home and she ended up winning immunity because she knew her tribe mates' sisters' names or last names. And I was like, that it speaks so much to a social game, which is something that I value. I value a social game over anything else. And so I really wanted to know if Savannah could do that, especially when we've been saying names all season. And I actually wanted her to prove me wrong. I really did. I was like, if you can prove me wrong, then I will write your name potentially. And so like, and then she couldn't do it, and I was like, okay, that's what I thought.
Did were you able to see? Obviously, we were able to see last night, but we're able to see like Sophie catching them. Did that help with
Yes,
your
I
vote?
thought that was iconic. Sophie like looked at me and I did see that like during actual tribal, and it made me like it kind of solidified that I would vote for her when she looked and said Cody and Jackson, and I was like, thank you, girl.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Okay, okay. I see the process now. But
It was not just a random question.
right, right. I also want to talk about too. I mean, you made the finale episode. You made Final Five with 0 votes. I think you and Sage were both the last people to
Yes.
get your name on the parchment.
Hmm.
Tell me what that is a feat of its own.
Yeah.
What about your game really brought that asset and what it made it possible to really get to that point with
I
zero
think
votes?
I think you all really didn't get to see really how much of a social game that I was playing. It was very much the same game that Blue Sophie played, and me and her, we talked about that a lot, that we played similar games, but unfortunately she had allies that weren't gonna ever turn on her, whereas, we kind of imploded. And so I think it was really just kind of knowing, yes, I was blindsided, but I really kind of had things under wraps about who I was really, really close to. And I never felt worried that people were going to write my name down. There was always going to be a bigger threat. And when I personally tried to get out the big threats on the other side, I saw that it wasn't working. Like people, for whatever reason, had, different ideas and ways they wanted to navigate the game. And I said, you know what? If they all want to take each other out, guess who's not being talked about? I'm gonna let it happen. You tell me I'm okay. Okay, we're voting Yellow Sophie. Great. We're voting Steven. Great. Those are people that can vote for me at the end. And no one's looking at me. And so I think it really just speaks to like the way that I saw the game and how I was socially insulated in it.
Yeah. And you brought up Steven. That was another
Mhm.
moment. Let's talk about that vote. How did we get to switching on Steven, everything like that?
So Sage and I, as soon as that competition was done, we actually sat down on the beach and she said, Christina, you have to stop being loyal to Steven. He's actually the person who told us about your idol. He knew Alex was going home that entire time, and he voted with you to keep you pretty much like on his side. And she was like, stop giving him loyalty for someone who has not been loyal to you. And in that moment, I actually still tried to fight for him. I was like, okay, emotionally, it hurts, but this is still like really good for our game to keep him. And I saw throughout the day that Sage was not going to budge at all, like not even a little bit. We didn't really mind Rizzo staying in the game because the jury, like I don't know that they would have voted for him. They were really very much I think you could tell on their faces that the idol like threats and like maybe playing it and dangle it, like they weren't receiving it very well. And so like wanted to keep him. And I was like, okay, well, honestly, at this moment, my vote doesn't really matter. If Sage is not gonna change, and I'm not gonna vote Sophie out, like because or yeah, I was like, Soph, kind of want to sit with her at the end, and then I know she's gonna be here the next day. Like regardless how I vote, she's gonna be here. So that is not a good move for me to like build to burn that bridge. Steven is a threat. Let's just go ahead and take him out.
Gotcha, gotcha. And would you say at that point was he still in your final three plans before finding out everything? Who was your final three at this point of this game?
Um, if we're being really honest, I think my best shot at the end was going to be against Blue Soph and Rizzo. I think that was kind of my ideal. But I also was very okay with sitting next to Steve. And I was like, look, the way the trajectory is looking, it's going to be either Savannah or Steven. And I would rather it be, Steven, someone who I think played social, strategic, and physical over someone that we kind of were at odds the entire season. And so I would have loved to sit with him as well.
Gotcha. And it was brought up last night. You said you guys were at odds as well with Savannah. Um, Walk me through. Was the war really a war between Hina and Uli, or was it just some things just didn't line up at all the time?
So if you they didn't show this a lot, but there were Savannah was kind of on our radar from the first episode. There were things that she would say on mat chats, or there was a situation where she actually yelled at one of my allies, and I was like, I don't really like that. And so even just coming into Merge, I kind of already had my eye on her. And then, that you guys saw that intense moment, but right before that, I was like, you know what? I haven't given her the benefit of a doubt. We've actually never had a conversation. I tried to have like a very personal conversation with her. And then when we started talking about game, everything like switched like instantly. It went from like telling her, personal stuff to like, who are you voting for? And I was like, okay, well, you just proved my point for me. And yeah, we're not going to be working together for at this moment. And so I think it just started way back when, and maybe we just could never recover from it.
Do you think in a different timeline, if you guys had redone the season, there could have been a chance where you guys have worked together?
Yeah, plot twist, Savannah is one of my like closest friends from the cast now. And so I do, and we talk about it all the time. We're like, hey, do you want to do Amazing Race together? Like we I think in a different world, we complement each other very, very well. I think she's an amazing human. I finally got to know her on a personal level. And I think in a different world, in a different scenario, we actually could really work well together.
Okay, we'll long for that moment then.
I know.
In the Amazing Race or wherever it may be, we'll long for that moment.
Full on for it.
Yeah. But I do want to ask this question as well. I mean, you have talked about Survivor was one of your big dreams before you turned 40.
Yeah.
And another part of that was sharing your mom's story. And you've
Yeah.
shared so much about your own story. And what has that experience been like for you, just as Kristina, kind of been able to
Mhm.
share this part of your life with the world and hopefully inspire people like you were saying with like
Yeah.
Caleb and everyone before you?
Yeah, it's been overwhelming in the best possible way. We don't ever even know what's going to air. I didn't know if my mom's story would ever be shared. And I'm forever grateful that one, it was shown. I'm happy that people got to see the growth. My own family, when I came home, they looked at me and they said, "You're different." And so just getting getting to see that journey, and then inspiring other people to apply, to share their stories with me. I've gotten so many people that have trusted me with their grief journey, or with their struggle with addiction. And so I've had people like reach out and say, "Hey, I went to rehab because of that," and that is like, I mean, that transcends the game completely. That is people changing their whole lives, the trajectory of their lives, because of the impact that of sharing my mom's story. And it's that's why I say it's just overwhelming in the best possible way.
That's great. That's amazing. Really quick, rapid
Uh-huh.
fire real quick.
Oh gosh, oh, this is my first one. Okay.
Yeah. So I want to ask, who did you trust the most in the game?
Alex.
Whenever you got to merge, who
Mhm.
was your ideal final three that you would have gone all the way with?
I would have gone with Steven and Alex.
Okay. If you could play Survivor with anyone in all of Survivor, whether it be anyone of 50 or anything,
Mhm.
two people, who would it be?
It would be Sari and I'm bad at rapid fire. Let's go with Sari. I actually wanted to play with Savannah. Sari and
Oh,
Savannah. I
okay,
think it
cool.
would be interesting. I think it would be interesting.
That'd be a good group. That'd be a good. We'll long for that timeline now.
We'll long for it, but I think it would actually kind of be kind of cool.
Well, yeah, and well, now that we've seen the trailer for 50, hopefully things go well for Suri and Savannah on 50 as well. So hopefully there.
Yes.
We'll just miss the third Musketeer, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, and then you've already said Savannah, but I mean, I guess we'll either or. If you do Amazing Race, and let's say Amazing Race has a Survivor season, would you go with Savannah or Richie, your husband?
Okay. Richie is probably the female version of Savannah. So, I would have to go with Richie. I have to
Gotcha,
go with him.
gotcha. Well, awesome. I think that's everything. Unless there's anything else, I mean, is there anything you want people to know about your game that we may not have been able to see or want to highlight?
Yeah, I really I think I kind of alluded to it, but like that Nate vote was not a safe option. I know
Mhm.
that I presented it that way to, to the people that I was working with so they would vote him out, but he is charismatic. He was running things. He was the cool dad, and I saw it. He did not want to work with me. He wanted to work with my allies, but not me. And I was like, I have to get you out because I think you're the one person that actually sees the game I'm playing and eventually you're going to try to take me out and leave my allies in the game. And I was like, you got to go.
Mhm.
So I really wish they kind of showed like the real history of how that vote came about.
Gotcha. And it paid off well for you, clearly, as we see.
Yeah,
So
I mean, last Hina standing, we made it to the end.
there you go. There you go. You were the last of the original yellow as well. I mean, you
Yep.
broke the record, first yellow tribe to not go to tribal pre-merge. So
Yep.
oh,
A lot of records breaking during our season, and I'm
well,
just I'm happy to be part of it, and I'm so happy to represent OKC and like be in that final five.
awesome. Well, you did amazing, and we're so
Thank
excited to
you.
see what's next for you. And thank you for an awesome season.
Thanks, Josh.
No problem. Thank you guys.
Bye bye.